Skyward Sword is the best Wii game every Zelda fan needs to play at some point. It takes heavy inspiration from almost every 3D Zelda game before it and expands on what made them great. And by restricting the amount of freedom and exploration a player has, they created worlds and dungeons that felt fresh to the Zelda formula without changing what made them fun.
Welcome, Web of Wires! Lots of people see Skyward Sword as one of the weakest entries in the series, but just like all my other stupid opinions, I see it as the opposite. This game has some of the most fun and creative ways of taking motion controls and turning them into an extra level of depth you didn't know you wanted in the Zelda franchise. And if you want to help this video grow a bit, a like and even subscribing goes a long way.
Motion controls are probably the most controversial part about Skyward Sword, so let's get this out of the way. Most of the time when you aren't using a sword and shield, they are gimmicky. Swing across this big gap here, balance yourself on a tightrope, roll a bomb like Wii Bowling. Motion controls were definitely used because of the limitations of the Wiimote and Nunchuck, but could probably be translated over easily through buttons. But what really makes this shine here is the combat. Skyward Sword is very similar to the Souls games, where studying enemy movement and striking at the right time is important. If you strike at the wrong time, you're punished. Each time you encounter a new enemy, it feels like you're solving a miniature puzzle, which is awesome. There are different ways to encounter fights, but finding the most effective one is just as satisfying as it is in Dark Souls. And the worlds, although designed similar to previous games, are filled with secrets and puzzles. Each place you go to is very linear. There's one direction to go to, but revisiting is also crucial to the game. When you revisit, your new tools will let you unlock even more of the land you haven't discovered. Yes, these are staple mechanics in Zelda games, but the linearity of each location lets them perfect every little detail you see because they know you'll see it. And flying. Although it takes some getting used to, it is actually quite a bit of fun. Instead of walking to your destination, you get to soar through the skies, visit islands, jump through hoops, and explore the beauty of being up in the clouds. What helps develop these worlds even more are the characters. The story itself has the same plot of any other Zelda game. Help rescue the princess because, believe it or not, you are the chosen one. So what they did to make it better was develop the characters, not the plot. And in return, you get some of the most well thought out writing and plot development of the franchise. Each character has their own personality and lives, which help take these abandoned areas and make them feel inhabited by more than nature itself. Just like other RPGs, the story keeps pushing you to continue, and it's the reason for continuing that makes exploring satisfying. I'd say the most painful part of exploration is Fi. She is there to help you out just in case you get lost, which at times is extremely helpful. But she can't help but point out the obvious whenever she can. It can get super annoying at times, but her character is interesting enough to the point where I don't want her removed from the game. The visuals definitely help with the storytelling. It looks like precursors to Breath of the Wild style by hitting the perfect balance between Twilight Princess's more realistic world and Wind Waker's cartoonish and childlike world. At first it felt a little odd, but I was very quick to grow on the art style. And the cinematic tone of the game helps it feel more like an epic adventure. All the cutscenes are hand-animated with passion filled into each one. The characters feel so alive, and especially for 2011, this is some high-quality animation done for the Wii. Dungeons can feel colorful at times, but are often overwhelmed by the feeling of being trapped. Cracked walls and vines slowly overpowering what was once left here by the people before us. All of these little details add up to an impossible mission taken by you with a slight spark of hope shining through. Which brings us to where our journey starts, the file select screen. You choose which place to take your journey on. While you make this decision, a very beautiful and simple and sad song starts to play. The harp, the instrument you will be carrying, starts playing a familiar tune. But the more you stay, the less you can see the light at the end of the tunnel. The violin slowly starts overpowering that familiar sound we grew to love with dread and grief. But as much as the violin starts trying to take over, hope still shines through and your journey will continue. And this right here, is what makes Skyward Sword an adventure every Zelda fan needs to go on.
Skyward Sword is a celebration of Zelda. It celebrates 25 years of history, and it does it in the most effective way possible. So to anybody looking to give the game a try, HD remaster or not, I highly recommend it. There's 40 hours of adventure to be had here, and it surely won't disappoint you.